So you want to buy a home. The first thing to start to talk about with your real estate agent is why you're looking for a new home. Most of my clients are either relocating here for a job or they are purchasing a home for their retirement or a vacation home, a second home, and it's been a life goal for them. So starting with your why is the most important thing, and sharing that information with your agent, because there's so many things that we will talk about that will pivot off of your why. If you are purchasing it as a home that is a smart financial decision for your family and an alternative to renting, and you're perhaps a first-time home buyer or you're on a budget, it's more going to be a value proposition and maximizing what you're getting for your money and really talking about the nuts and bolts of it. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, where's your commute to, where do the kids go to school? And that's maximizing value. But the flip side of that, which we have a lot of in Florida, especially my clients, it's not necessarily about maximizing value. It's about the fulfillment of a life goal or a dream or a lifestyle. And this is typically once a person reaches over that tipping point of having more money than time, then you're not necessarily looking to maximize your square footage or your commute time to a particular location, but more to check off those boxes for that home that you've been waiting decades to buy, and that is going to allow you to enjoy your life with your family, have your kids, your grandkids come down, be able to give your wife the kitchen that she's always dreamed of, spend time on the golf course with like-minded people. Just your goals and your why are going to be a lot different depending on which stage in your life you're at. And from there, your real estate agent in Florida is going to start hand-picking different communities that you might want to consider based on your why and your lifestyle choices. So you want to begin a conversation with your real estate agent as soon as you make the decision that you want to buy a home in Florida. There's no wrong time to begin this conversation. Sometimes people have the conversation in order to determine whether they're serious about buying a home in Florida or not. There are specific questions that they answer and that reveals that information to them. Other times you've already decided, yeah, this is what we want to do. We've narrowed it down. Florida's it, but we're trying to decide the city. Then you start talking to agents in different areas of Florida to determine which city is the best match for your lifestyle. Other times, maybe you're relocating to this specific area and you know you've got a hard deadline. You need to work with a real estate agent in order to line everything up properly, or you already live in the area and you're just thinking about making a change. There's really no wrong time, and people should not be intimidated about contacting a real estate agent in Florida to talk about their move because they feel like they'll be pressured. If you feel like your real estate agent is pressuring you to make a decision before you're ready, then you probably have the wrong agent, or you need to have a conversation about how you feel so that they know where you're actually at in the stage. So communication is so important, and really communicating your why and your timeline and how comfortable you are with the process. Also, having a conversation about your goals is going to keep you from making an impulsive decision that you might regret, and we're always going to bring you back to that original value or lifestyle. What are we looking for? And that's okay if it evolves, if it changes, but we're here to listen, to help you to unpack everything, and then to continue to point you back to what you originally said that you were looking for if we start to go off track. One of the questions that we might ask you is if you have friends or family that already live here in Southwest Florida. Sometimes you have people in your life that are of great influence, and you might want to make sure that you run the communities by them to make sure that they agree that you're making a good decision in the community where you decide to live. Or you might want to be within a certain amount of time, driving time, or a radius around that area because you plan together with those people frequently, or to be in a convenient location to them, or maybe you want to be far, far away from them. So we'll ask this information to try to get a frame of reference for what you're looking for here in Southwest Florida. So we know if all of your friends that have moved here all live in a certain type of country club, and then you decide to buy in a different type of country club, then you might have more buyer's remorse afterwards if your friends' opinions are very important to you. So we'll look at digging up and unpacking some of those values to make sure that we help you to make the right decision. Along with asking you if you have friends or family in the area, we might also ask if you have particular hobbies or a particular location that you frequent regularly that we want to stay within close proximity of. And if you go walk the beach every day and that is your thing, then you definitely want to stay within a certain proximity of the beach. If you travel internationally or domestically frequently, you might find it more convenient to be within a certain distance of the airport. Or if you frequent farmers markets or golf, just anything, restaurants where it would be more convenient to be close to the things that you love. Another thing to ask is, are you an HOA person or are you not? And I have a lot of videos. I'm going to do a link right now with the videos that I have in my YouTube channel where it talks about the pros and the cons of HOA living, and also just having a conversation about, are you an HOA person? So I flip-flopped between the two personally. There's a lot to be said for living in a home where it's maintenance free and you have someone come and mow your grass for you and do your landscaping and maintain things, and everything's beautiful and nice when you drive in, and you don't have to worry about those kinds of things. It allows you to have more free time for your personal life, for work, for family, entertaining, whatever. Other times I've lived outside of HOAs, and this is when there were certain things that my husband and I wanted to be able to do and to have certain freedoms that we could not have in an HOA, like a sawmill and a kiln in order to do woodworking in a barn with a tractor. Having some acreage in an agricultural rural area is really beneficial for that kind of a lifestyle. And you may find that you go back and forth, and that's okay. But we'll want to start out with understanding, are you an HOA person? There's certain communities that you'll need to stay clear of if you do not want to be in an HOA. And when it comes to HOAs, which is a homeowners association, which are very common in the state of Florida, when it comes to an HOA, there are hundreds of flavors of HOAs. We have everything from super strict, everything looks the same, consistency, you cannot do anything out of place. More of a freestyle, you'd pull in, you might not even know you're in a homeowners association. But there are a lot of benefits to having a homeowners association and some caveats, and we can discuss that further, but definitely check out my videos, which will get you started on the conversation. Along with wondering if you're an HOA person or not, I might ask you if you have pets. If you have very large dogs, for example, it will be hard to live in a townhome or a condo. Or if you have any of the breeds of dogs which are considered to be aggressive, that may be difficult in some communities. Most new construction communities will allow any kind of pets in the beginning until the developer turns over the community to a professional association. And at that time, then the people who live in the community already are going to vote and enact certain rules. But sometimes it's a maximum number of dogs or types of pets. Of course, if you have horses, then you're probably going to be in a rural area, which there are some HOAs which have stables and allow for horses. So this is a very important conversation, and especially because our animals are part of our family. So we definitely want to consider that in our decision of where to live. You can see there are a lot of things that we think about before we even start to talk about the house itself, because the community is the first thing that we really need to hone in on. So an important factor here, of course, is the budget, right? Whether you're actually on a budget or not, there's going to be a budget, an amount of money that you intend to spend on your purchase. And we'll talk about that because that's really important in order to narrow down the communities. There are thousands of communities in Southwest Florida, homeowners association or not. And so by having a price range, we can help to narrow down the focus onto homes that are a much better match. We're playing matchmaker with you here, which can be fun. So the more we find out about you and what really lights you up and excites you and inspires you, the better we're able to match you with the right community. And when it comes to your budget with buying a home, it's more than just the purchase price. So one of the other variables when it comes to the budget is the cost of taxes and insurance and maintenance. Obviously, the more expensive the home, the higher those are naturally going to be. But there are different areas of Southwest Florida that have different tax rates, different CDD amounts, Community Development District. Certain areas require flood insurance and certain areas do not. Depending on the age of the home, the construction type of the home, all of those factors will play into the overall cost of maintenance, the cost to carry that home over time. So talking about budget is critical. Also, are you planning to use cash, or are you planning to leverage financing in the purchase? Because we need to get that conversation going. Once we find the right home for you, we will need to be prepared with that proof of funds letter or that pre-approval letter in hand. So it's critical to have this conversation right now. And if you are financing, it's important to know what kind of financing you're doing, because there are particular homes which will not allow particular types of financing. Again, this is why we ask all of these prying questions. We want to get to know you more so that we can help you in the best way possible. If you are purchasing a home in Florida and you're coming from out of state, I do have a video about working with an out-of-state realtor. You can check that out here. But I want to encourage you to start the conversation as soon as you know that it is your intent to buy a home in Florida. It's okay if you're not planning to come down for a year or more, depending on where you're at in the process. Start to have that conversation, learn more about the areas that you're interested in, get set up on the MLS with some emails, which will allow you to mark your favorite properties. Because if you mark your favorites, yeah, of course, they're going to be sold by the time you come down, right? But you can mark them as a favorite. And the cool thing about that is that when it goes from an active to a pending to a closed status in the MLS, you will continue to see that property stay in your portal. So you can use it as a baseline. You know how many times that someone has this holy grail property that they think was just the most amazing thing, and then they get down and realize, oh wow, that was because of the location that it was in. Or, that was 3 years ago. And so obviously